Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, She Plans, She Budgets. In today's video, we'll be budgeting out my first paycheck for April, so let's get started. All right, as you can see here, we are opened up to my April monthly budget spread. And I just wanted to point out that for my first paycheck, we will be budgeting all bills and expenses between April 2nd through the 15th, which means I will need to account for stuffing my cash envelopes, my sinking funds, my savings, my phone bill, and although I have my water bill listed right here, this is paid out through my sinking funds. So you will see that in an upcoming video, part of my sinking funds transactions. So that is all I will need to cover in between the 2nd and the 15th. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you over to that budget spread. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention this is my Franken Happy Planner that I put all the different decor pieces together myself, and I do have everything linked down below on how I put this planner together. For instance, I will be using the budget expansion pack from the Happy Planner. This is the expense tracker. I don't really use this page, but this side I use to track all my expenses that I use on a daily basis, and you'll see that reflected here in future weekly check-in videos. Then on the next page, I have my April monthly budget. Again, this video will be linked down below, so feel free to check that out. That will be followed by my weekly check-in page. And here we are to my paycheck 1 budget. These are Excel sheets that I made myself on the laptop. And these are the colors I picked out for this month. All right, so let me go ahead and zoom you guys in. All right, so I didn't zoom you in that much more because it looked pretty decent on my end. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. So starting with my income, as we know, I am paid on a bi-weekly basis because I am a salary employee. And for this paycheck, I am expecting $2,160. I am waiting to see if the fluctuation in my paychecks previously stops because, you know, it's hard to guesstimate what I'm supposed to expect. I do predict I will get a little bit more than this because I just recently got a pay bump. But again, the fluctuation in my state taxes varies like every other paycheck. So far, so good. So if it stays the same this paycheck, then I'll most likely bump this number up again. But right now, the only thing I'm expecting for paycheck number 1 is $2,160. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down as my total. Okay, so as usual, I like to use my Erin Condren monthly bill tracker. And this just helps me stay on track with all of my bills to make sure I don't forget anything. And as mentioned earlier, I am accounting for all of my bills due between April 2nd and April 15th. So I won't need to include my Verizon bill because that's coming out of paycheck number 2 from March, but I will need to factor in my cell phone bill, my cash envelopes, sinking funds, personal spending, and my debt savings. I did go ahead and check off my water bill down here due for April because it was paid already through my sinking funds, and you'll see that in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But again, I just need to account for debt, personal spending, sinking funds, cash envelopes, and my phone bill. So I'm gonna go ahead and jot those things down. For my phone, I'll write it down here in the fixed category because that payment will be for $120.76. And that is the only fixed expense at this time. So I'm going to write that down again as the total, $120.76. Then for my variable expenses, I will have my cash envelopes starting with gasoline. And there will be a total of 3 cash envelopes. After that is groceries. And I combine groceries with household. And the last cash envelope is laundry. So as usual, I like to stuff gasoline with $90. I know in the Monthly, I doubled it, but I'm just going to put half of it down out of paycheck number 1. Groceries will have, as usual, $350, and I am sticking with $35 for laundry. Okay, and then next I will need to account for sinking funds. And I will have a separate video breaking down my sinking funds in full and giving the various amounts for each category. But in total, I will be stuffing $605 in my sinking funds out of paycheck number 1. Then next, I will be giving myself personal spending money. And for personal spending, I just use it on any and everything, like whatever I want, basically. There's no restrictions. This paycheck, I will be giving myself the normal $250. And then the last thing I will need to account for is my debt savings. And if you want to hear more about my debt savings, feel free to check out my latest debt tracker update video, and I will have that link down below as well. For this paycheck, I would like to save $770. So getting that total will be 90 plus 350 plus 35 plus 605 plus 250 plus 770 equals $2,100 even. So $2,100. All right, so now for the paycheck breakdown, I will have my income, my fixed expenses, variable, and unbudgeted. All right, so expected income is $2,160. I would need to subtract my phone bill at $120.76. And I will also need to subtract my variable expenses at $2,160. Oh, I'm sorry, $100. And then there's nothing to budget for unbudgeted, so I'll just cross that out. All right, so if I take 2,160 minus 120 with 76 cents minus 2,100, I am at a negative $60.76. So matter of fact, I'm going to write that in red. Negative 60 with 76 cents. All right, so in a case like this, which doesn't really happen much, but just because of my how I have all the expenses laid out for this pay period. So basically what this tells me is not necessarily that I don't make enough to cover my expenses. It just means that I just have this paycheck a little too bill or expenses heavy. So a good thing to do would be to either lower something on my variable expenses side, whether it was out of my cash envelopes, sinking funds, personal spending, or my debt savings. Any of these categories can be reduced because they're not a bigger priority. Like groceries is a priority because obviously I gotta eat. And my bill isn't a priority because I need a phone. But like something more so, like something out of my sinking funds, my personal spending, something from those two categories could be reduced to make up this negative number. However, I do know that my paycheck will be a little bit bigger than this. So I just want to see where my paychecks balance out so that I could put an accurate expected number. Because right now I'm kind of just playing it safe just a little bit because, again, the state taxes fluctuates. But as long as it starts to balance out, I can increase this number a little. And then secondly, I do still have a buffer in my account from the month of March. So that can help me say for example, if I didn't want to reduce anything from these categories, I could just use my buffer to cover, you know, the $60 that I'm short by. But however I need to work it out, I will let you guys know, because I will have my paycheck one results video where I'll also where I will stuff my cash envelopes and my sinking funds, and I will show you how everything pans out. I'm not worried about 60 bucks. Like I said, an option would be to reduce one of your non-priority categories. You could, you know, do a side hustle to make up the extra income. But I would recommend just reducing something else first, unless you can't reduce it. And then, you know, I would recommend reducing something, but you know, whatever works out for you, that's what you can do. So again, I am expecting a little bit more. However, I could reduce something, but I do know that I can cover 60 bucks in my buffer account, so I'm just not worried about it. So I will show you again in the results video how everything works out, and we'll also come back in that video to stuff my cash envelopes and sinking funds. All right, so that is everything for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.